Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're diving into the insightful book, Give and Take by Adam Grant. In this book summary, we'll explore the key concepts and ideas presented by the author. So, let's dive into the summary of this incredible book. But before we dive into the content, I kindly request a moment of your time to appreciate this video by liking it, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that notification bell. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Grant introduces three main personality types: givers, takers, and matchers. Givers are those who are always looking to help others without expecting anything in return, while takers aim to maximize their own benefits without considering others. Matchers strive to keep a balance between giving and taking. Give and Take explains the three different types of how we interact with others and shows you why being a giver is, contrary to popular belief, the best way to success in business and life. Adam Grant, a renowned organizational psychologist and Wharton professor, explores a new perspective on success that goes beyond traditional ideas of hard work and networking. In Give and Take, Grant explores the dynamics of giving, taking, and matching in our professional and personal lives. Give and Take by Adam Grant explores how being a giver, rather than a taker or matcher, can lead to success in personal and professional relationships. Using a range of examples, Grant provides insights and practical advice to help readers become more effective givers. Adam Grant is an award-winning organizational psychologist and a professor at Wharton Business School. He has over 60 journal publications and has presented for many prestigious organizations, such as Google, Facebook, and the United Nations. Give and Take offers a breath of fresh air to traditional theories of what it takes to be successful. Backed by groundbreaking research, Give and Take demonstrates how giving more to others, rather than competing against them, may be the secret to profound success and fulfillment. Give and Take is a thought-provoking book that explores the power of giving and taking in professional and personal relationships. Here's why this book is definitely worth reading. It presents a compelling case with research-backed evidence and real-life examples, showing how a giving mindset can lead to success and fulfillment. The book offers practical tips and strategies on how to become a more effective giver and navigate different reciprocity styles. With its engaging storytelling and insightful analysis, it challenges conventional wisdom and keeps readers engaged throughout the book. Those are the individuals who truly deserve to immerse themselves in this extraordinary book. Anyone who wants to understand how those who give become so successful. Anyone who wants to learn how to influence others without being domineering. Anyone who suffers from burnout by giving too much to others. The 19-year-old Instagram and fitness blogger, who's tired after not seeing results 6 months in. The 39-year-old executive, who just received stock options from his company and considers selling them all. And anyone who sometimes feels burnt out from being taken advantage of. I loved Originals, Adam Grant's latest book, Give and Take, he published in 2013, and while it's also about personality, its premise is slightly different. An original is something you can become over time, in case you aren't already. But you're already a giver, taker, or matcher, so with this one, it's about switching to the right category instead of acquiring something that's totally new to you. You know plenty of examples of people who match any of the three types already, we all do. There are those who are preoccupied with making sure they get their share, those who want everyone to have their fair share, and of course those who lead with generosity. Interestingly, Adam Grant establishes that it's the very last category, the giver who's predetermined to thrive, yes, even in the competitive world of business. Here are 3 lessons about giving and taking, and why giving's the best. Whether we give or take depends on the specific situation. Give away your power in conversation to get others on your side. Givers can't burn out if they see how big their impact is. Lesson 1. You adapt your giving style to specific people and situations. It's fluid. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take, sometimes you negotiate. While we all have a predominant style that marks us as a giver, taker, or matcher, we adapt our behavior to certain situations and depending on who we're with. For example, even takers donate money at Mass in church, when everyone around them does, while a giver might hide her generosity because she's scared of being thought of as weird. Other than peer pressure, how well we can relate to a person also impacts how generous we are. Believe it or not, if you're a Manchester United fan, and you see an injured runner on the sidewalk who's wearing a jersey of the club, you're 3 times more likely to help him out than if he just wore a plain t-shirt. Our giving style isn't set in stone. It's fluid. We shape and change it constantly, even without realizing it. So no matter which type you're tilted towards, it's never too late to switch from one to another. Lesson 2. Practice powerless communication to get support when you need it. There's a scene in the funny, romantic comedy Ghost of Girlfriends Past, where Matthew McConaughey's mentor tells him that the power of the relationship lies with whoever cares less. As the film will go on to show, that's a very sad statement to live by, and according to Adam Grant, it's also not true. Most of the time we're told to be confident, to speak up, to assert ourselves, and sometimes that's necessary. However, Adam says there's nothing more convincing than giving up power. When you communicate powerlessly, you don't focus on what's in it for you. In true giver fashion, you focus on the other person and you ask questions and seek advice. It creates zero resistance in the other person because it puts them in power, so naturally many people will choose to help you. For example, when a woman working at a Fortune 500 company had to relocate, she was about to have to quit her MBA studies. Feeling powerless, she asked the HR manager, "What would you do?" and ultimately ended up getting exclusive access to the company's private jet to relocate and be able to attend classes. There's no force, no game, no sweet talk in powerless communication. It's just natural, human, pure honesty, and that's what makes it so powerful. Lesson 3. You can't burn out as a giver as long as you see the impact you create. If you keep on giving, you will win. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday you will. However, sometimes even the most generous giver can get burned out and exhausted. I've been surprised at how much energy I have recently, especially considering how little food and sleep I get on some days. Don't worry, nothing too extreme, smiley face. Thanks to what Adam has found out, it now makes perfect sense. Givers don't have to work less hours, they have to see more of the impact they make when helping others. As long as you see the purpose in the things you do, there are very few limits on your productivity. Every time I get an email saying, "Thanks, Nick, your site really helps me," or a small payment, or a share on Twitter, that puts fuel in my tank to want to wake up the next day and work even harder. I'm writing this at 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday, FYI. Burnout is for the purposeless. Find a way to see the impact you have as often as possible and you'll be able to give for however long it takes. I don't know if you believe in karma, but I do. There's something about coincidence that makes me think there's got to be some kind of cosmic scoreboard. And I've never regretted giving too much. I don't know what success will look like for me, but I sure know that give and take made me want to keep on giving. I hope it'll do the same for you. Grant argues that contrary to common belief, it's the givers who often achieve the most success in the long run. By building strong relationships, creating a positive work environment, and fostering collaboration, givers create a ripple effect of generosity that ultimately leads to their success. However, Grant also addresses the challenges that givers face, such as burnout and exploitation by takers. He provides strategies for givers to protect themselves while continuing to cultivate a giving mindset. One of the key takeaways from Give and Take is the importance of creating a culture of reciprocity in organizations. By encouraging a giving mindset and rewarding acts of generosity, companies can foster a more collaborative and productive work environment. Give and Take is a thought-provoking book that challenges conventional ideas about success and offers practical advice for living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Whether you're a leader looking to build a more cohesive team or an individual seeking to create more meaningful connections, this book has something valuable to offer. To delve deeper into the key concepts of give and take, Grant also discusses the concept of 5-minute favors, small acts of kindness that can have a significant impact on building relationships and fostering a culture of giving. These small gestures can lead to long-lasting connections and create a positive ripple effect in both professional and personal spheres. Another intriguing aspect of the book is Grant's exploration of how givers can effectively navigate interactions with takers without compromising their own values. By setting clear boundaries, being more selective in who they help, and learning to recognize signs of exploitation, givers can protect themselves while still maintaining their generous spirit. Grant also emphasizes the power of networking with a giving mindset, showing that by focusing on how they can help others rather than what they can gain, individuals can build stronger and more meaningful connections that ultimately benefit everyone involved. Here are some valuable insights extracted from this captivating book. I believe you will find them highly beneficial. Feel encouraged to explore its wisdom further and let it spark new perspectives and ideas on your journey. 1. Takers are self-centered and focused only on what benefits they can get from others. We all know people who seem to care only about themselves, completely disregarding the needs of others. These people are takers. Everywhere they go, it seems their primary concern is hogging as much money, status, and admiration as possible. Typically, takers promote themselves eagerly, favoring words like I and mine rather than we and ours. They also tend to be domineering, using forceful language to persuade others, while unabashedly flattering powerful people to get ahead. So why are they so selfish? They simply see the world as a competitive place. To a taker, life is a ruthless game where you take everything you want, helping others only if the personal benefit of doing so outweighs the cost. A prime example of a taker is Kenneth Lay, former CEO of the energy giant Enron. Along with taking out colossal loans from the company, Lay sold off $70 million in stocks in a well-timed effort to take care of himself before the company went bankrupt, leaving 20,000 people unemployed. But the average taker is not necessarily evil or corrupt. A less caustic example is legendary basketball player Michael Jordan. As a player, Jordan spoke out in favor of increasing the share of team revenues given to players, only to argue for the opposite when he became an owner. His philosophy: to be successful, you have to be selfish. Although their underlying motives may differ, all takers hold the same worldview. They believe that there is a limited amount of pie for everyone, and it is up to them to take the biggest slice for themselves. Takers are self-centered and focused only on what benefits they can get from others. 2. Givers are driven by the desire to help others and create success for the group. Most of us can recall a time when we were touched by the generosity of another person. Perhaps they gave us advice, offered a job opportunity, or helped us with a difficult task, all without expecting anything in return. These people are givers. The keystone trait of the giver is that in most transactions they give far more than they get. They are generous with their knowledge and time, and they will often forego personal credit for the good of a common goal. Their main focus is to provide value for others. Having their help reciprocated is either irrelevant or a bonus. The way givers see it, helping other people is its own reward, as it makes the givers themselves feel good too. 3. Somewhere in between givers and takers, matchers strive for equal, fair exchanges with others. I'll do something for you if you do something for me. This is the calling card of matchers. People who endeavor to give as much as they get. Matchers are easily recognizable for their tit-for-tat mentality. They can be seen striking a deal with their kids about mowing the lawn or enlisting the help of a friend who owes them a favor to drive them to the airport. However, contrary to takers or givers, the matcher's goal in their negotiations is being fair and equitable to all parties, not just one. To matchers, the world should be a level playing field where people exchange knowledge, skills, and resources equally. Matchers are uncomfortable when exchanges are unbalanced, so if they help someone, they expect reciprocation or else they feel disgruntled. This works both ways, however. If a matcher receives a favor, they will feel obliged to promptly return it. This desire for reciprocity also means that if a matcher offers to help someone, there is usually an agenda to cash in the favor later, which they believe is entirely justified. For how much we give or take is shaped by who we interact with. When was the last time you felt influenced by a group to behave in a certain way? Although each one of us has an individual governing style of either giving, taking, or matching, we also adapt our behavior to suit specific people and circumstances. It is part of our nature to conform to what we believe is expected of us in a group situation. For example, takers are usually more generous in public, as they don't want to appear miserly to others. On the other hand, givers may suppress their generosity at work when they don't want their kindness to be perceived as a weakness. 5. Persistent takers lose respect and damage their reputations. Common knowledge insists that to succeed, you must take what you want. However, historical examples show that when people take excessively, they lose respect. When this happens, their reputations sour, endangering their further chances of success as others no longer wish to interact with them. Take, for example, the scientist Jonas Salk, who, with the help of his research team, other scientists and thousands of health professionals and volunteers, developed the polio vaccine. During an infamous press conference announcing the achievement, Salk failed to thank those who had worked with him, upsetting his team to the point of tears. Eventually, his selfishness backfired. Salk was never inducted into the National Academy of Sciences, though many other polio researchers were, and was never awarded the Nobel Prize. Some claim it was his failure to acknowledge others that contributed to him not being considered for these honors. 6. Givers often achieve the top positions in society because they focus on the greater good. Many believe that when it comes to achieving professional success, taking is more effective than giving. This is particularly true in traditionally cutthroat professions like business and politics. Interestingly, though, it turns out givers often succeed in such environments, as their interest in helping others benefits them too. Abraham Lincoln is a perfect example of someone who cared more about giving for the greater good than taking for himself. Before he was president, Lincoln dropped out of a Senate race to allow competitor Lyman Trumbull to win. Lincoln relinquished his position because both he and Trumbull shared the goal of abolishing slavery, and Lincoln believed Trumbull had a better chance of winning. Abolishing slavery was more compelling to Lincoln than personal advancement. Later on, Trumbull repaid the favor by eventually becoming an advocate for Lincoln when he ran for Senate again. 7. Successful givers cultivate and use their vast networks to benefit others as well as themselves. Givers see potential in everyone they meet, making them formidable at finding and nurturing talent. When offered an opportunity to mentor someone, many people look for seeds of talent first to see whether it is worth investing their time. Givers, however, differ in this respect. Rather than waiting for proof of ability, givers assume potential in everyone and nurture it from the start. Because of this early-stage support, their protégés are often highly successful, and this success is usually reflected back onto the givers. Renowned NBA basketball manager Stu Inman provides an interesting illustration of a successful giver in the way he chose players for his teams. Although Inman passed up on some basketball legends including Michael Jordan, he found massive success in drafting the previously overlooked Clyde Drexler, who later made the Basketball Hall of Fame, 10 All-Star teams, and the Olympics. Inman was deeply respected for his ability to find undervalued players and for his dedication to those he helped develop. 9. Powerless communication puts givers at a powerful advantage. If someone asked us what kind of communication creates the most success, we would probably say it requires confident, assertive language. But recent studies show that in contrast to raising voices and displaying conviction, we can succeed by communicating in a powerless way. Powerless communication involves focusing on the other person. For example, by seeking advice and asking questions. Rather than being domineering, which evokes resistance, this softer approach has a remarkably persuasive effect. This technique comes easily to givers, as they are naturally interested in others. 10. Givers are only successful if they can avoid burnout or being abused by takers. Many givers flourish thanks to their generosity. Unfortunately, this is not always the case, and some end up exhausting themselves trying to please everyone. To avoid such burnout, givers must learn how to stay energized and deal with takers that exploit their generosity. Surprisingly, recent investigations show that the remedy for burnout lies not in reducing the hours spent helping others, but in being able to witness the impact they have. The key message in this book is that giving more than you get can result in great individual and group success. In conclusion, give and take. Adam Grant presents a compelling argument for the benefits of being a giver in a world that often values taking. Through real-life examples, research studies, and practical advice, Grant challenges readers to rethink their approach to success and consider the long-term impact of their actions on both themselves and those around them. Remember, the next time you have an opportunity to help someone else, consider the lasting impact your actions could have. As Adam Grant eloquently illustrates in Give and Take, the simple act of giving can have profound effects that extend far beyond the present moment. You can find the link to acquire a copy of this incredible book in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you found this book summary helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more book summaries and insightful content. And share this uplifting summary with someone who may benefit from hearing them. Leave a comment down below if you've read this book or have any other recommendations for us. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep on giving and making a positive impact in the world.